You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
This is East Carolina All-American Bryant Packard, and we're talking Pirate baseball in The Sports Objective.
You are listening to Extra Innings, presented by Next Level Training Center on The Sports Objective. Join us every Sunday night on Facebook Live and our YouTube channel as we talk East Carolina baseball, as we look back at the previous week and take a look at what's ahead. Now, let's talk Pirate baseball.
Welcome into Extra Innings, brought to you by Next Level Training Center. In fact, just go to nextleveltc.com. Give them a call, 252-756-NEXT. Let's bring in Kyle from LaGrange Barber. What's up, dude?
What's going on, fellas? My energy is zapped from the heat today. I'm not used to that. But besides that, got the sweep this weekend. Pirates first place in the conference where we belong, and keep rolling.
Yeah, great to have enjoyed being at the game with you, Jessica, your wife, and Bubba. Bubba Rosenbaum on the road back to go into China Grove. How are you, man?
Doing well. Tremendous 2 weeks for the Pirates. 8-0 on the homestand that just ended. Consecutive conference sweeps against UCF and Cincinnati. A couple of quality midweek wins over teams that were in the top 50, the RPI at the time of the game. And obviously very high as far as NC State. They're in the top 10 or 15. And I want to say ODU was about upper 40s, but yep. Tremendous 2 weeks. And one of the best things about these 2 weeks, the way we swung the bat. So you and I were just talking about it off air, Dave. 83 runs over the last 8 games. So nearly 10.5 runs per game.
I mean, it's crazy. And Kyle, we were talking about there's no place like home. And we were hoping after that Houston series, we only won 1 game out in Houston. You come back home and you're hoping that you could, maybe we could go 6-2. 7-1. Yeah, Craig, thank you so much for that broom. It's nice to see a broom out, especially when it's for the Pirates. So, Kyle, did you get your chicken leg today, by the way?
I did not. Did not get the chicken leg, but the crowd has got to start chanting chicken leg, chicken leg, chicken leg when we get, when we have 9 strikeouts and we're getting ready to throw that 10th strikeout, just start chanting chicken leg. That needs to be our thing.
Exactly.
It's a stupid promotion. I guess you're not going to turn down free chicken or free money. You're going to turn down sponsorship money from KFC, and if all they want to give away is a chicken leg, then so be it. But glad we got free chicken legs because that meant 10 strikeouts. So like the way we're swinging the bats, like the way we're pitching. Got to keep it up on the road. That's the thing. Can we take the show on the road? Can we do it at Charlotte? And can we? Is that a neutral site game?
Yeah, that's the Truist Field there at downtown Charlotte where the Charlotte Knights play. Are you going
pretty sure Charlotte will be the home team. I know a couple weeks ago when I went to watch App State play Queens there, and Queens was the home team. I think that will be the case with Charlotte being the home team. But
will we outdraw them?
I definitely think that will be the case as well. And back on March the 7th, the Pirates had, I think there was, as far as the total attendance, it was right around 2,500, and we had at least about half that. Unbelievable showing there in Kannapolis. And I certainly expect the same on Wednesday night. I know some area Pirates, one JP Noonan, John Noonan, who lives about 5 miles from me, he's been organizing an event as well as the Charlotte Pirate Club for this game for weeks or if not months. So it should be. I would not be surprised to see between 1,000 and 1,500 Pirates in attendance. We shall see, but it should be a heck of an atmosphere there in downtown Charlotte.
Yeah, no doubt, and that's. It's impressive. It's one thing to do it against Queens, but if we can outdraw the 49ers in Charlotte, that'll be hugely impressive. And then after that, what is it? Is it Wichita next weekend?
Yeah, Wichita State.
Yeah, so see if we can keep rolling. See if we can go on the win and go on the road, and definitely need to take at least 2 from Wichita. It's hard to get sweeps on the road, but you never know.
And before we dive too deeply into things and break down the week that was, you mentioned the strikeouts. Dave and I were discussing that off the air. I know last season, Dave, you said in 67 games we had 498 Ks.
Yeah,
So this year we're already at 372 through 36 ball games. We're averaging a little over 10.3 strikeouts per game. Last year that broke down to a little under 7.5. So we're on a record pace, and if we continue to strike out batters at this clip, we'll have probably in excess of 600 Ks this season. Pretty remarkable.
it really is. But going back to what we talked about, guys, we knew that even Coach Godwin and back in January with Media Day, we knew that this team was going to be good. And one of the reasons they were going to be good is because of the pitching. And by the way, Kyle, Bubba, it might be just a short-term thing, but how about all the people saying, well, you're losing a lot of power. And yes, we did. You're going to have to win different ways. And I was like, well, that's baseball. Every sport, right, Kyle? Like in football, you might have to have the kicker to win the game, or you might have to have the defense, make some big stops and a couple interceptions. And so, lo and behold, we've scored a lot of runs and a lot of power. Bubba, we had how many home runs this week? 9?
We hit 9 home runs. I think 47 now on the season.
That's right.
And we had multiple home runs in each of the 4 games, 3 2-home run games, and obviously a 3 home run game. That 3 home run game coming in the 10-0 run ruling of Cincinnati on Saturday, and then obviously another run ruling of the Bearcats 13-3 today.
It's a good question. When is the last time, or is this the first time in American Conference play that you've had multiple 10-run rule games in a conference series?
Well, that's something that Dave and I were talking about. It's really because of the rule that was in effect that most of the time you didn't have a run rule situation unless it was a travel day. So on a Sunday ball game.
So is this the first year of that rule?
Or the doubleheader scenario back in 2021 where you were playing 4-game series and had that doubleheader on Saturday. So yeah, that's Dave. Did you say this was the first time?
It is.
This had happened. It happened in league play.
Yes. Yeah, and the first time for the program, and I assume they mean for the American, because like Bubba said, it's a great thing. So we just need to make sure it's a great thing for the program, and we're not going to take away from it because it just shows you how great this team is. And by the way, one of the things we talked about with this team is they start off slow. They didn't get enough runs. Well, Bubba, I know you told me, and you can remember off the top of your head, but we're pretty much scoring at will against these teams, including, I think it was yesterday was the only time we didn't score. Was the second inning yesterday.
Yeah, Pirates got off to excellent starts in each of the 4 games. And in those first 2 innings, so obviously over the course of 4 games, 8 innings, the Pirates scored in 7 of those. The only inning that ECU did not score in the first 2 innings was today's second inning, because obviously Jacob Starling had that big hit to center to push across a run there in the bottom of the first. So that's something that had really plagued this team, not swinging the bats well into the mid to late innings. But it seems to be coming around over these last 2 weeks, especially this week.
Yeah, and if you can continue that, it's always good to get into the bullpen. But if you can start scoring runs and force them to get into the bullpen before they want to, and you can hit starting pitching, and you don't have to wait until they get into their bullpen, you can wreak a lot of havoc because, and then you're not waiting for them to switch pitchers based on their starter throwing XYZ amount of pitches. You're chasing him, get him in the bullpen early, and you can create a lot of havoc and score a lot of runs.
No question about it. And I'll tell you what, we'll have, by the way, want to give a shout out to Kaz, Mark Minikazi for PGXGloves.com, our pitcher and player of the week. We'll talk about that. But man, the good news is I was telling Bubba and Kyle before back of the game, when you have a situation where you're not playing well and we have a sponsor, so we have to come up with a PGX Gloves player of the game and pitcher of the game, then it's like, oh man, it's going to be tough. We got to pick it. But this particular situation, for the player of the week, especially, we had to really crunch the numbers to be fair and not just pick someone. We actually will tell you who that is later in the show, Bubba. But and Kyle, we all, and I know that there's others that are watching right now that they felt the same way. And by the way, guys, one of our viewers told me that since changing the batting lineup with Hoover leading off, good old Hoove, the Pirates haven't lost. How about that? 8-0 since Hoover now the batter.
Yeah, Lane's well over 300. I want to say around 320, 325. And that average only climbed this week, 7 out of 14, a pair of 3-hit games, and a tremendous week for Lane Hoover. And he hit his second bomb of the season and third of his Pirate career.
And by the way, Bubba, let me give a shout out to Jared Plummer. I appreciate everything he does for the Pirates with in the jungle there with a Twitter account. And he actually told us that, I want to give him credit where credit's due, that bomb that he hit on Tuesday night broke the record for AAC's most runs scored, right?
Yes, Lane Hoover, obviously the beneficiary, as several players were, of that COVID season, not counting against the eligibility, but tremendous career, no matter what there. And I'm trying to remember how many runs it is that Hoove has scored now. We'll have that graphic up on the screen before tonight's show is over. But and you think about it, Hoove probably has at least 25 or more games, hopefully, remaining in his Pirate career. So he's going to really, and if he continues to do what he's doing, getting on base, he's going to put that record probably almost out of reach.
Yeah, no question, because most of the people will only be playing maybe 3 years if they go on to the major leagues, or definitely to the minors, hoping they get to the majors. But I'm really proud of him. He's been doing great. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to his dad, Denny, who watches our show. Appreciate Denny for his support of the program. And I asked Denny last night if there were, by the way, guys, if there was any more Hoovers that would be coming to play for the Pirates, being baseball. Lane's younger sister is a really good softball player, so maybe she'll be playing for Shane Winkler with the Pirates. But we at least have one more Hoover. It just won't be for baseball. Hopefully it'll be for softball, guys.
Yeah, that'll be great.
I know that, in fact, how about this? Craig says Lane Hoover is the Holton Ahlers equivalent for baseball. Craig, you're right. Lane is extremely important to the program, as I told his dad.
Does that mean people have to hate him for no reason?
I think that's a good point. Unfortunately, Holton doesn't get the same respect that Lane does. In fact, Richard Allsbrook chiming in, Hooverville, and that's section 204, right, Bubba? Off the top of my head, I believe that's where Hooverville is located, inside Lewis Field at Clark LeClaire Stadium.
Yeah, honestly, do not recall, but yeah, I've enjoyed getting to know Denny over the last year or so. I actually, less than a year, I met him at last year's Super Regional whenever we defeated Texas in Game 1. But kind of getting back to, we'll take a quick look back at that Old Dominion game. As I mentioned, Monarchs top 50 RPI came in, I want to say, with a 23-8 record. And they had really had our number over the last season or two. I think took both games from us a season ago. So, we really wanted to come out and take care of business, and we did just that. You got a pretty good start from Zach Root. I think Coach Godwin, after the game, was saying that Zach's got to continue to improve his command so he can go deeper than 3 innings into ball games. But all in all, a good start. And then you had Jake Hunter. See some time, but it was really Danny Beal. What a career outing for Danny Beal when he went 5 innings and struck out a career high 9 batters.
Yeah, good to beat ODU, and their RPI will hold or get better. The Sun Belt's a very good baseball league, So that win will help us as the season goes. And we have another game with ODU up in Norfolk, right?
Yeah, that's right. Coming up in just a few weeks, is it the Tidewater Classic or something like that? So
it's going to be played at another minor league park.
Yeah, the Norfolk Tides.
yeah.
You know, yeah. So
Orioles,
AAA.
AAA, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of minor league parks being played at this season. Obviously, Atrium Health Ballpark, Kannapolis Cannonballers, Segra Stadium down in Fayetteville. You also you had one prior to Kannapolis. Let me see. I'm drawing a blank, but obviously the DBAP against Duke.
Yeah.
That I think that was the one that I was forgetting, and then obviously Truist Field on Wednesday night against Charlotte, and then the Norfolk Tide. So at least 5 minor league ballparks.
Yeah, so we take care of business against ODU Wednesday night or Tuesday night, and then Friday night handle business again and take out the Bearcats.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, that was what I was curious to see. It was such a great game by ODU to come out there and take care of business. That's guys, isn't that a quad 1 win off the top of my head? Or is that not? I was trying to remember where the quad 1 win. I have to look at that again, but
I'm sorry, I lost you there for a minute. You said you're trying to remember what?
If he's trying to remember what quad 1 is, if ODU is considered quad 1 based on their RPI.
quad 2.
Yes. Yeah, quad 1, I believe, should be top 50.
Top 50, okay.
So quad 1 win.
Yeah, so there's another quad 1 win as we had with NC State. So you have 2 quad 1 wins over the last couple of weeks. Bubba, is it 24-2 now at home off the top of my head? I think you told us pre-show.
Yeah. And actually there have it scrolling at the bottom of the screen. The Pirates are 24-2, as they just mentioned. That Clarkwood player this year. I think last year we were 27-11 at home. Obviously, really played well at home down the stretch when we were in the midst of that 20-game win streak. But that's something I'd have to go back and check. This is one of the best seasons, obviously. Obviously hard to be much better than that.
Yep. So do we want to move on to Friday?
Sure, let's go ahead. In fact, Friday nights got a nice victory for my 50th birthday, Bubba and Kyle.
Yep, that was obviously the only game in this Cincinnati series that was pretty competitive, where we had a 6-4 late, and then had the 3-run bomb, one of 3 home runs that Josh Moylan had against Cincinnati. But what we had taken a 3-0 lead in the first inning when Cam Klotch, I think it was the first inning, first or second inning, when Cam Klotch deposited one out on the Cliff Moore practice facility. And Cam had an excellent week. Had another home run in the series finale today. But you had Trey Savage, not as sharp as he had been in the past necessarily, but I think Cliff alluded to that in the post game. 5 fraction. I want to say he went 5 1/3, something like that. He struck out 10 batters. And didn't have a ton of walks, it didn't seem, but just within the strike zone, maybe his command wasn't as good as it had been in the past. And then he did, I want to say it was the 4th inning. He allowed a home run, and then he had 2 taken away on tremendous plays by Carter Cunningham and Lane Hoover. And that really is when we kind of seized control of that game to an extent and allowed us to maintain a pretty nice margin there, even though, like I said, it was 6-4 going to the bottom of the 8th when we largely put it away with the 3-run shot by Josh Moylan.
Man, Josh is the guy that I've been saying is the X factor for the year. I know he took a lot of lumps early on, but man, he has really come on strong. And guys, his defense is great at first base. And then when you have that guy, I love to watch him bat. When he has one of those swings are just not to overhype it or exaggerate, but it really is legendary. He's got an amazing swing.
Yeah. No, and took care of business Friday night. That game wasn't even really close once they put it away late. And that was the only game that's competitive. Yesterday,
Yes.
10-run rule, 10-0, 7-inning game. And, so y'all talk about that one. I didn't get to see any of the game yesterday, so I will defer to both of y'all on that one.
That game, I tell you what, Bubba, really happy for the AAC pitcher of the year last year, Carter Spivey. He looks so good. It was 4 hits, Bubba? No walks, 4 hits?
Yeah, Carter Spivey, an abbreviated complete game, if you will, going the full 7 as the Pirates walked the Bearcats off there with Joey Brini single to left in the bottom half of the 7th inning. But Carter Spivey, 7 shutout innings, 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, no walks, and Carter Spivey is our PGXGloves.com pitcher of the week.
Yeah,
let me ask you guys. Go ahead, Bob, Dave.
No, that's what I was going to say. That was a no-doubter because I was really happy for him because he really poured it on yesterday. And that was, after you have it played out exactly like I thought for Cincinnati. I thought Cincinnati, that first game, probably their ace pitcher, how would we play against him? And then yesterday, man, Carter Spivey, no runs, 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, and no walks. And here's another thing, Kyle, I forgot to mention to you the game, and I was talking to Bubba pre-show when we were doing the numbers. We only used 7 pitchers all weekend long.
Yeah, you get good starting pitching. Your bats are hot. That's something you can do, and you play 2 7-inning games. That'll save some pitching also. Today's game almost seemed easy. It almost seemed effortless. Did yesterday's game seem the same way?
Yes. It was because of what we talked about. When you have that dominating pitching going on, and then you have the bats that are hot as a firecracker right now. And in fact, one of our viewers just texted me, Spivey only 76 pitches, guys, yesterday.
Wow. That's incredible. That is being
I'll tell you,
the word I'm looking for. That is
very economical, efficient.
Yes, very economical with your pitches. That's what I'm looking for, Bubba.
But while we're on the topic of our PGXGloves.com pitcher and player of the week, our player of the week a moment ago, as you might have guessed, it was going to be Josh Moylan. Josh had a home run in each of the 3 games against UC, 7 out of 15 on the week, and drove in 9 runs. So congratulations to Josh Moylan, who's just having an incredible junior season to date. And he is our PGXGloves.com player of the week. And also, I think that's perhaps an underrated part of this team. Some of the plays we've made in the outfield, also Joey Brini and Starling in the middle, and obviously AMAC, perhaps even more so at third with some of the plays he's made. Josh Moylan's defense, I think, is at times underappreciated.
Yeah, and how about Lane Hoover has made some great plays out in the outfield. I know that Tyler mentioned a comment earlier, guys, about the Hoover's the second best outfielder defensively. He says Johnson's better. This does not include batting. But I tell you what, man, I know I don't want to steal Kyle's line, but Hoover's like a vacuum cleaner out there. He just sucks everything up, right, Kyle?
Oh, yeah, I don't remember saying that, but yeah, he does. He's definitely lives up to his name. He is a Hoover and great defender. And whoever mentioned Riley Johnson, he's a great defender too. He'll sacrifice his body. Yeah, but both those guys are great in the field.
Yes.
And Riley's been battling a bit of a nagging injury, but we use him as a late inning defensive replacement, and he's made some nice plays. Made one today. It seems like I recall there in the late innings, latter part of the ball game. And something else, we talked about the Pirates scoring in 7 out of the the first 2 frames of the game this week. Something else over the last 2 games of the series, both of which we won by run rule, 10-0 and 13-3. You had, I think there were just two of those 13 innings in which the Pirates didn't score. The second inning today, and then yesterday we didn't score in the third, and that was it. So that's pretty remarkable there. Not only were we jumping out early, but we continued to add throughout the game and put up crooked number after crooked number. Today there, I think it was the third, fourth, and fifth, or fourth, fifth, and sixth. We had 4 spot, 3 spot.
And guys, something else that I know a member on the media asked on Tuesday night post game with ODU. It's what now 6 games we haven't had JC, Jake and Jenkins Cowart, and we have 8 wins altogether in home street. I believe it's 6 games, Bubba. We haven't had JC.
That sounds correct.
Was it game 1 or 2 that doubleheader with UCF? I can't remember now.
It was game 1 of the doubleheader. So you had I'm pretty sure. So you had the second game of the doubleheader.
Yeah.
And then ODU, and then these 3.
The doubleheader, with that doubleheader, I couldn't remember exactly when. So it was, 6 games. So Coach talked about it. He said we're going to win or lose without obviously JC, and he told the people, it's going to be a while. But the good news is you don't want to rush him back, and with the growing injury and the fact that we have, look at Carter Cunningham. Look at Cam Claunch. There's a whole bunch of guys, Riley Johnson, a lot of guys that have stepped up on this team. So not to diminish how much JC means to this team, but it's not like we have like one great player. And
the initial was 2 weeks, so it's been a week. So, whether he's back, I don't think we'll see him for Wichita, but maybe he'll be back for the following weekend.
He's going to be back for my prediction. He'll be back for the Carolina game. That's my gut feeling. I don't know. Or I'm not sorry, not the Carolina game, the state game. My prediction. But we'll see on the road at the field.
Speaking of being back, obviously, rather than 27 innings or more, we only played 22 innings this weekend because of the 2 run rulings. But you had Garrett Saylor, and Garrett had the chance.
Yeah.
We only used 6 pitchers, I want to say, this weekend. Is that
7?
Obviously, okay. You had your 3 starters, and then I knew Danny Beal pitched, and get Garrett Saylor, and then Tony Ginn. So
maybe it is 6. Dave said 7 earlier.
It was 3. Wasn't it 3 Friday night, 1 yesterday, 3 today?
I know today it was obviously it was only 1 yesterday. I know today it was only 3. I'm pretty sure you had Groves, and then
Beal,
and then after that Danny, and then Taylor.
Yeah,
I think that's right.
Yesterday. And you had Savage, and you had a total of 3 on Friday night, right? Or is it just 2?
Today, Groves went 4 2/3, and then you had Bill an inning and a third, and then Siller through the top of the 7th.
Right. Yeah, Dave was trying to remember Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, Friday you had your Savage, you had Landon Ginn, and then I'm trying to remember who closed it out. I think we had a third pitcher though.
Okay, that's 7.
Sequin?
Yeah, Wyatt Lunsford Sequin.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so it was 7. 7 this weekend. We settled it.
Yeah, it's 3 on Friday, 1 yesterday, and 3. My point was, I did mention that part to Kyle, is that we haven't. We did talk about that early in the game today. We haven't used that many relievers, and as Kyle said, that we needed them to get some work. So it was good to see that we did have Friday night and today.
No need to fear, Craig. I'm not looking up these stats while I'm on the road. Stuff that I looked up from following the first 2 games, and then I glanced at today's box score before before I left Greenville.
And we also,
Bubba is the Rain Man of ECU stats.
and I also
About $100. About $100.
See, I've got my paper right here. Let's see if anybody can see it or not. No, it won't come up. But I have a piece of paper right here that Bubba and I were pre-show crunching the numbers so he would not be crashing, Craig. So
today 13-3 as we already went through the pitching there. You got to see Jiminy Christmas. I'm horrible with names. What's his damn name? We were just talking about him. Finally got to pitch some. Finally got to see Sailor, and he looked good. He looked good to close the game out.
Yeah, by the way, the last time he pitched, Kyle, I looked it up when I got home, was Bubba was at that game, including another one.
Campbell game. And he pitched extremely well in that game.
Yeah, so no pressure situation today, obviously, and he pitched well.
Yes.
And
perfect timing for him to come back.
No, great timing for him to come back. And so you got the 3 outs there in the top of the 7th to get us the hell out of there before the rain came.
That was amazing, wasn't it? The fact that it hadn't been that long that the game was over, and all of a sudden, well, we did. You and I, Kyle, did feel those. It was a few drops.
Yeah.
There was it the 6th inning, maybe?
Yeah, 5th, 6th, something like that.
Yeah. We started to feel a little. We're like, here it comes. In fact, we talked about that, Bubba, but it's after 5 complete, we get the win.
Yep.
So that was a great feeling to get those 8, and then now the key is we'll have the 5 road games because you have the NC State game, and then you have 3 coming back against Tulane to have the end of the month.
Yeah, and wanted to go back to today's game a little bit from a pitching standpoint. I know I mentioned Josh Groves went 4 2/3. I think he had 7 strikeouts and 4 walks. So he wasn't as sharp. His command was not what it has been in recent outings. But today's, don't want to dwell on it too much, but the strike zone was pretty interesting to say the least. It seemed fairly inconsistent, but Josh Groves was able to battle and give us nearly 5 innings, and then obviously the bullpen, as we mentioned, in the 2 1/3 were very good with Beal and Sailor.
Yeah, no doubt. And I want to mention something. Today was, by the way, first baseball game I went to this year. Shame to say, but I don't go to a lot of the baseball games. I love ECU baseball, but with my vision, it's a lot better watching on TV. But with that said, when did we get those nifty popcorn boxes? Because we didn't have them during football season.
That's a good question. I saw that the baseball concessions run so smooth, man. They are so fast, and it doesn't matter. The great thing about baseball concessions, it doesn't matter how big the line is. They can get you out of there.
Yeah, I like attention to detail. I like stuff like that. If it's not going to cost us but a couple cents more to put our own branding on the popcorn boxes, I thought it looked great. It made me want to eat the popcorn more, as stupid as that sounds.
Johnny Robertson, by the way, guys, while we have a chance, this is a really cool JR. I know that you and Bubba need to have a celebrity death match like that old show on MTV when it comes to stats. JR chimes in. I texted Carter Cunningham's mom that I met Thomas, a young fan, that told me his dream was to have Carter attend one of his Little League games and that he played for Brown and Wood. She just texted me that Carter went to Elm Street tonight and watched Thomas play and said hello. That is what Pirates do. Thank you for that, JR. Awesome story, and that's why I love this fan base. That's why I love rooting for my alma mater, right, Bubba?
Yeah, and that's funny that JR brings that story up about Carter Cunningham, because following the game, Britt Pons, Richard Allsbrook, and I went to PT's Grill, and Carter and his family came in to grab a bite to eat. So, it was great to see everything that Carter's doing this year. He's having an excellent season after having an up and down 2022, but he's become very consistent, really swinging the bat well, and had another solid game today.
Bobby, you've mentioned PT's Grill on the podcast a couple times now. When are you going to get us that sponsorship?
Yeah, that's what I need to get that done. I guess I'm dragging my feet, but no,
Locations in Greenville, Goldsboro, and
Yeah,
Wilmington.
In Wilmington.
yeah.
Yeah,
PT's Grill right there
it's awesome.
near Parker's number 2, off Greenville Boulevard, and I
On
believe
Wayne Memorial
Johnny
Drive in
Gardner told
Goldsboro.
me what the old Pizza Inn, but
Yeah. Pizza Inn,
but
legendary. By the way, our friends that are a little bit older like me, we used to put that buffet. They would frown when we walked in because there were about 4, 6 guys every Thursday night. We went out to eat, and one of the places we went was that Pizza Inn, and we used to kill it. It was
There's not a lot of them around anymore. There's one in Goldsboro, which I just mentioned about PT's Grill. There's one in Smithfield, and I believe there's
Wilson.
one Wilson. There's one. Is it Richlands? There's somewhere in the Jacksonville area. There's one. So they're here and there.
By the way, Kyle, Richard Allsburg gave me a laugh. I'm gonna put it up on the screen.
Right.
Kyle, how about a hard Mountain Dew sponsorship?
Oh man, no, not after my review last night. I don't think so. That stuff is straight garbage. Oh,
that's
God.
funny, Kyle. Richard brought that up while we were eating, and he said that definitely gave him a good laugh last night.
Well, I'm glad he enjoyed the review. If anybody wants to see my hard Mountain Dew review, you can find it on Facebook or TikTok. So there you go. Maybe that'll be my new thing. I'll review crappy alcoholic beverages.
They will not be a sponsor of the program.
No, hey, look, if they want to be a sponsor of the program, I'll tell them how much I love it.
Yeah. It depends on how much they.
I'll love it. I'll drink it. I'll chug them. I'll chug them if they. Yeah.
You remember the $1 Million Man? Everybody has a price, right?
That's right. Well, you're damn right. With the money Pepsi has, if they want us to advertise hard Mountain Dew, I'll love it. I'll drink 2 or 3 of them each episode.
The WWE Hall of Famer Ted DiBiase, I love that guy. Bubba, he's one of my favorite heels of all time.
Yeah, I'll tell you something off the air.
Okay. In fact, you could put in the comments, question in the comments, maybe a drink that Kyle should review, and we'll have that part of the show. Maybe there's some, I don't know, Bubba, you're in the.
I did see. I'm trying to remember who it was, but somebody, and you'll probably recall, Kyle. Somebody had responded on Facebook under that review and saying that
requesting the
Bojangles.
Yeah, it was. I believe it was
the hard sweet tea.
I believe it was actually under my wife, where she shared it. I believe it was Susan Moore. It was somebody requested it. But anyway, nonetheless, Bojangles Hard Sweet Tea coming up next.
All right, sounds good. In fact, you can always email us.
Hey, by the way, guys, this is punny. I'm calling my reviews blind reactions.
Only you could get away with saying that, not us.
You damn right.
All right, I'm going to give Brandon some love. Hey, Brandon, we're going to give you some love. All right, here we go. Do y'all think this is the year ECU breaks through and gets to Omaha?
Who knows? It depends on a lot of things. A lot of times it just depends on dumb luck. You like to be in a position to be a national seed. I think that's going to be hard to do because of the conference RPI. But if we can run through the rest of this thing and not lose any more series, handle business midweek to keep our RPI going up, maybe we can be a national seed. I think we're going to, if we win the conference, we should host. So the key is going to be, I think again, you can win it on the road, but better off hosting. Who knows? You'd like to think if you host a Super again, you'd win it. You'd like to think, man, we're probably going to end up going to Omaha when we go on the road and beat damn LSU or somebody like that in the Super Regionals. That's typically how we get things done in East Carolina. But is this year we go to Omaha? It could be. Yeah, it could be. I think any year could be the year. We're a regional team every year, so it's hard to say. That's hard to answer that question definitively. The pitching is there. The bats are coming around. If the bats continue to swing this way with the pitching we have, this could be the year.
Yep. By the way, guys, I want to say hello to Monica. Monica, great heart. Glad to have you here tonight, Monica. And don't be a stranger, Monica. She gave great insight, I know, in the 5th quarter and obviously here on the show. So, Monica, want to say hello to you. And by the way, guys, our good buddy Richard Allsbrook, he said, thoughts on Coastal Carolina jumping ahead of us in the RPI. I know winning takes care of everything.
Well, I mean, Coastal plays in a tougher conference than we do. We mentioned ODU in their RPI. So Coastal has the opportunity to move up in their RPI based on the weekend series. We don't really have that opportunity. But it doesn't matter. Us and Coastal both can host. So, that's fine. Maybe we'll see them in the Supers.
And by the way, the PT Grills, they have another one in Spring Lake, by the way.
Okay. So we got Wilmington, Goldsboro, Greenville, and Spring Lake. This is going to be important with that pending sponsorship.
Yeah, they and how many times we can say PT's Grill, and they will show them this episode. We love PT. I've eaten there twice. It's very good, and I need to go back there. But we need to do that. By the way, Monica says if we don't host, the surrounding teams are scary. South Carolina, Coastal, and Wake. No doubt about that, Monica.
Yeah, I think we'll host. I think we'd have to shit the bed, so to speak, not to host.
Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of. Go ahead, Dave.
No, I was just going to add to that, Bubba. I think I'm sorry, Kyle. We're going to add. I think we will host a regional, and we're on the bubble right now whether we'll host to get that national seed and host a super. So that right now these midweek games and obviously dominating the conference, and winning the 4th straight American Conference Championship, and it'd be nice.
I'm calling it now. We're going to host, and we're going to get paired with Wake for the Supers, and we're going to go to Winston-Salem, fill their stadium up, and beat Wake to go to
Oh my God.
Calling it now.
Oh my God, that would be tremendous. Oh my God, that would be. Hey, however we go to, I don't care how the road to Omaha is. My boss is really cool and has already told me that I can have the time off, so I'm saving a lot of time. I think I have around 30 days of vacation, so I'm saving it up. I'm hoarding it so I can go to Omaha. And people ask me, by the way, Kyle and Bubba, have you booked your rooms to Omaha? I said, there's no way in the world I'm going to book Omaha until we actually make it. I don't want to jinx anything.
Yeah, no. Who knows if this will be the year or not? Oh, Jesus Christ. Our commenter just said there's a lot of good teams in this area this year, with Coastal, with South Carolina, with Wake. Campbell's good. So there's a lot of good baseball teams in this area. And so the super regional situation will be interesting.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not going to jinx Monica, I promise.
Monica, thank you.
And Mark says UNC won the series against TCU.
Yeah, UNC Wilmington took 2 out of 3 from TCU in Fort Worth. And
then a weird weekend series to be played this time of year. Has Big 12 play not started yet?
No, I feel certain it has. I know it, but then I think last year you had UNC Wilmington. They had a 3-game series at Oklahoma State. So,
well, the Seas Hawks, I don't think they're in position to host, but they're a good shot to be a regional team.
Yeah, and kind of going back to Coastal Carolina, Chanticleers. 23-11, 11-4 in the Sun Belt. They took 2 out of 3 up at Old Dominion. They lost to opener 8-5, bounced back with a 15-2 win, and then won 4-2 in 10 innings in Game 3.
Yeah, I ain't scared of Coastal. We beat them in baseball. We beat them in football. We'll beat them in baseball again. Whoever we have to play, we'll get it done. But it will be interesting if everybody keeps winning, to see what they do with all these teams in this area come regional time.
Yeah, and they put us, not disrespecting Campbell, but putting us as a 2 in Campbell at Boys Creek.
That was, you got to remember, that was coming off the one win weekend where we lost to Wilmington and lost 2 out of 3 to Houston. If we keep rolling like we did this week, we won't be a 2 seed anywhere. We're going to be hosting. But there's a lot of baseball left to be played. And but I don't. How many damn regionals will they put in the Carolinas? That's another good question. If East Carolina, Campbell, South Carolina, Coastal, and Wake are all in position to host, and how far out is North Carolina State at this point from being in position to host?
They're doing very well too. I know they won yesterday big over Florida State. I don't know if they won the series or not, but
that could be the problem. I mean, that could really be the problem. Is the amount of teams in this area looking to host, and that could be a blessing or a curse playing in this conference. it could be a blessing because we could have a better record than everybody else, with the exception of maybe Wake Forest. But it could be a curse because of the RPI. We really need to make sure we don't drop any games to low RPI teams in this league, and we handle our midweek opponents, because that's a chance for us to move up our RPI.
No question about it. By the way, Brandon's talking about a super regional with NC State or UNC. I know that's what he means. We've already had a super regional with UNC.
It'd be what it'd be. I mean, if we get one of those, if that's the draw, then great. I mean, you can't control that, Brandon. That just is what it is. We could be playing a regional team in the supers, or we could be playing Texas or Texas Tech like we have in the past. I mean,
yep.
It's just kind of the seeding. So it'll be what it'll be.
A red hot Louisville. Remember that in 2019 as
Louisville, Vandy. I mean, we've been all over the hell. We could end up playing a Pac-12 team in the regionals, if super regionals. You never know. First things first, we got to get to the regionals and win those.
Right. Well, right now, and that's exactly right. And right now, just keep winning cures everything. And like Monica says, great point, Monica. There's a bottleneck of great baseball here in North Carolina. We need to stay hot. Absolutely. That's the way that you can.
Yeah. And not just North Carolina, South Carolina and Virginia also with UVA. I'm assuming UVA is having a good year.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, and South Carolina they're having their best year in years.
Yeah.
Mark Kingston entered the year, on the hot seat, but the Gamecocks have really, really played well thus far. And, last weekend they played number one LSU. I think one of those games was washed out, but they were able to split that series with the top team in the country. And Mark Kingston and the Gamecocks having a much needed solid 2023. And then we obviously already talked about Coastal with their RPI and their body of work thus far. They could be in the running to host. So many in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. You could have 5 or 6 of the 15 hosts. 16 hosts in those 3 states.
Do you think they would do that?
I think you have to look at, like maybe that's what they're going after is Campbell has already beat us twice. But Nate, by the way, says, guys, NC State did take the series for Florida State today. Get this 5-4 in 10 innings. So they pulled it out 2 out of 3, I guess.
Yeah, and as far as Campbell goes, no disrespect to Campbell, and I won't really say we're playing a much better conference in baseball than they do, because truth be told, it should be, but it ain't. But I'm sorry, but if we handle our business and Campbell handles their business, and it comes down to putting a regional in Greenville, putting a regional in Boobies Creek, if they put it in Boobies Creek, I'm going to punch somebody in the face.
Well, I mean, hey, check this out. For those asking about East Carolina, we've had 4 straight regionals that we've hosted, and the only other team to do that is Stanford. 2 teams in the whole country. So that's what and look how many people we had. Almost 6,000 for NC State, and that's
and that's another thing with and again, this could be a negative or positive, but if you look at Coastal, that Sunbelt's a hell of a league, and they're going to have the opportunity to move up their RPI, but they're also going to have some tough competition. So
they could go down.
They could end up, playing their way out of hosting just based on competition. Like I say, you could look at the American 2 ways. It can be a blessing if we roll through the thing, but if we take any goofy losses or drop a weekend series to Memphis or something, it could be a nightmare.
That's true. By the way, John chiming in tonight. A lot of people, thank you so much. If you have questions or comments, he says, John White says, the mindset needs to be whoever we play and wherever we play, good enough to win. To move on to the ultimate is hosting is nice, but many teams move on and not host.
Yeah, absolutely. But you would rather host, and the mindset should be to win out and win every game we play and try to host. But if we go on the road, look, hey, we won up at UVA, almost won the Supers at Texas Tech. So yeah, no doubt about it. You can go win a regional on the road. But you sure would rather be playing it in Greenville. But no, you can definitely win it on the road. And I like I say, if they put us a 2 seed, throw us, make us a 2 seed, and they put us at Boys Creek, or 2 seed in Winston-Salem or something like that. I got a feeling that probably whoever ends up hosting us as the 2, if their regional opponent's going to really wish they didn't do that, because we're going to fill up their stadium. But I think we're going to host. I mean, look, we're sitting here in April. We're discussing hosting because that's what fans do. But we're in good shape, guys. I mean, we're in good shape to host. Don't y'all think? I mean, if we take care of our business.
After last year, there was a lot of Coach even he didn't allude to what happened, but there was some inside the clubhouse, drama going on, and he didn't allude to it at media day. But these guys are hungry after what happened in Texas. That super regional, are you kidding me? The first time we had a super regional at Clark LeClaire ever, and they were this close to going to Omaha. That was a big. They have a chip on their shoulder, and after what happened, the slow start, and then they had the 20-game winning streak. But these guys, a lot of these guys, we lost a lot, but we're back. We've got a lot of guys back too, and these guys remember how it felt walking off that field, losing to Texas on that Sunday night, which we should have won Game 3. But that's a whole nother.
What is our RPI as we sit tonight?
Obviously, it fluctuates by the minute depending on the games that are being played. But last I saw, we were 11th.
11th.
So
Okay, awesome.
Richard Allsbrook, or one of our Johnny Robertson, one of our viewers, let us know.
Yeah, please do. John White, former pitcher for the Pirates. He said 20 more games, in fine shape right now, no doubt.
Yep. So RPI 11. I'm sure that's Warren Nolan, but he's pretty on key with the NCAA. So that's very good.
By the way, those watching and listening tonight, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can like us on Facebook. Want to remind folks of that. Love to have you a part. And anytime we come on, love to have you a part of this. It's going to be a special year, obviously, no doubt. By the way, JR is the best. Number 10, guys, right now in our RPI. So
top 10 RPI. There you go.
Yeah, we're sitting pretty right now. Rankings, you guys, we were 9th this week. Do you think we go up to like 7th, maybe 8th? We'll go. Not a big jump, obviously, but I think we may go up to 7th. That's my prediction.
Possibly, who cares? But I mean, it really doesn't matter. But yeah, we'll probably move up in the polls. I mean, we went undefeated this week. Somebody posted over on ECU Baseball we were the only team to go 4-0 this week in the top 25. So I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I swear I read that. So good chance for us to move up.
Richard Allsbrook would also chimed in saying 10th in the RPI. Charlotte, that we play on Wednesday in downtown Charlotte. The 49ers are 19-15. They did have a midweek win over the Gamecocks 6-2, and they play the Tar Heels on Tuesday night before the Pirates on Wednesday.
Big week for the 49ers.
Yeah, hey, this is their opportunity. With all that program is definitely their basketball and their baseball has been great, and definitely an in-state rival in those two sports.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, their baseball has been okay. Their basketball used to be great. But yeah, no problem playing Charlotte in basketball and baseball. I would rather play almost anybody else in football.
Well, hey, if we have an opportunity to go there and or they come here and win, a win is a win, right? They're the fact that
if they come here and win, I hope to God not.
No, I said no. I'm talking about win. I'm talking about for a win on here and Dowdy Ficklen or win there. We have better athletes.
Basically, Dave was just saying, hey, we'll have our chance in the fall to handle our business and show them that what Coach Houston and staff have going on in Greenville. But
yeah, absolutely. But
here in just a moment, we'll have our AAC scoreboard for you.
Yep, and how about our pitcher of the week, right, for pgxgloves.com? In fact, I want to give a shout out to Kaz. I've been wearing that hat all weekend long.
I don't know about all weekend, but I saw it today.
I did for Kaz by pgxgloves.com. I want to appreciate Kaz's support of the program and providing the sponsorship for the player of the week and pitcher of the week. And we told you Josh Moreland, 7 out of 15. Josh, I wrote the numbers down here. He had 9 RBI and 3 home runs. In fact, he had a home run in each one of the games for Cincinnati. He was our PGX pitcher of the game. I'm sorry, player of the game. And we can go ahead and say Carter Spivey. We're having some technical difficulties, but Carter Spivey is our PGX pitcher of the week. And Carter,
and we've already mentioned that earlier in the show with the graphic, Dave. So it's all right.
Yep. And I want to mention that, give a sponsor. And so we want to do the American scoreboard now. As we do, we've got a few minutes left of the show. Appreciate so many people chiming in tonight. Again, don't forget to like our Facebook page, and you can go on and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so. Appreciate that very, very much. So big week for the Pirates, and another one coming up. Like we said, 10th in the RBI, and we'll see how things go. I don't know if we've lost Bubba. Bubba, are you there?
I'm back. Got home and I forgot to turn my Wi-Fi off, so I would, because when it connected, I dropped you guys. Connection. Yep. I dropped you guys for a minute, but
right. You got the scores
in just a moment.
All right, the American scoreboard.
Yeah, I'll read them off as soon as I'm able to. Let's see. All right, so Houston, and we'll take a look at the standings first and the results. East Carolina, first place, 7-2. Houston, second place at 6-3. Wichita State and South Florida are tied for third at 5-4. Tulane is in fifth place at 4-5, and then you have a three-way tie in sixth between UCF, Memphis, and Cincinnati at 3-6, and 4 games behind the Pirates. Obviously, we know what transpired between the Pirates and Bearcats. Then you had Houston. Houston was taking on South Florida. The Cougs won the first 2 games in that series, 6-5 and 16-10, before the Bulls blew out the Cougs 13-2 today. There in Houston, you had Wichita State and Tulane squaring off. And in that series was in New Orleans. It was the Shockers taking 2 out of 3 from Tulane. The Green Wave won the series opener 9-7, but Wichita State bounced back, taking games 2 and 3, 10-9 and 7-4. And then you had UCF and Memphis. The Knights are now 20-16 overall after taking 2 out of 3 from the Tigers in Orlando, winning games 1 and 3, 12-3 and 8-6. They lost the middle game 3-1.
There you go. Right. And you don't think today's game was important? That was the difference between being solely in first place or not, a tie with Houston. So great to have that win today. But every win's great for the Pirates. But today, that's why we have to get the broom out, right, guys? Another sweep for the Pirates.
Yeah, you want to keep winning and then try to pull away from Houston, because you don't want it to come down to last weekend of the year. They would hold the tiebreaker. So keep winning and hopefully pull away, get a couple game lead over Houston in the standings.
All right, and a little football for you right here. Nothing to do with baseball, but the defensive end transfer Manny Hickman lands at Conference foe USF.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. But I guess good for him. I don't know. I always, these kids, when they transfer out for whatever reason, I'm not one that follows them after they're not a Pirate anymore in most cases.
Yeah, and again, the people that get upset, look, if they don't want to be a Pirate, we don't want them. And be fair, and they may have been told they're not going to get a lot of playing time. That happens. I don't know if that was the case with. Let me be very careful.
No, I don't think so. Not with Hickman.
I think that's the case, but that happens sometimes. So you know what? If you don't want to be a Pirate, great. We'll find people there are a lot of people that do, and there are a lot of people that love Coach Houston, and so that cuts both ways. So
Well,
Well,
it could have been something. I don't know the case why Hickman transferred out. I don't think it was a playing time issue. Could have been a personality issue. I'm not sure
yeah.
what the situation was with Hickman. But nonetheless, he's going to be a Bull now, so we'll get to beat him.
By
Not
the
this
way,
year because we don't play him.
that's right. Hey, Bubba. By the way, Bubba did a great job as with our Matt Simmons. Has got a lot of work going on. He couldn't be here tonight, and maybe limited this week, but they did a great job with Gary Freeman and Brandon Simmons. Joined those two guys, and there was a wrap up of the spring game. If you haven't seen that's a great show. Go back and check that on archives on YouTube or Facebook, and anywhere you listen to the podcast, we have it up. So make sure you check that out. Right, Bubba? I guess we lost Bubba for a second, but Kyle, it was a great show, and obviously a big get your tickets for season tickets. Our good friend Coleman Spade. I want to make them work really, really hard. I know they won't mind this challenge of call them 1-800-ECU during business hours, Monday through Friday, for the ticket office to get your football season tickets, or you can go to ecupirates.com and get your tickets anytime. Right, Bubba?
Right, Dave.
Yep. 1-800-ECU or ecupirates.com. As of about a week ago, a little less than a week ago, we have sold in excess of 12,000. Obviously, 16's the goal, so we're in great shape. And
Let's get 20,000.
Keep ordering those season tickets, and we per Coleman Spain with the ticket office, we are ahead of last year's pace,
Yep.
which is very, very encouraging. And we honestly, I mean, I know you certainly had the factor of not having NC State on the schedule, but that's great. That means people are showing up to watch the Pirates as they should. We've won 15 games over the last 2 seasons, and this program's building toward another conference championship. There's no doubt in my mind, and I think it's just a matter of time before that happens. And I think we'll be right there, contending year in, year out, as obviously we've done in baseball, as we're looking to win a 4th straight AAC championship.
No
Yeah,
question.
and if you're buying season tickets this year, there ain't no doubt you're coming to watch the Pirates play because this schedule sucks.
Well, hey, you know what? Whoever they put on the schedule, I'll be there. And that's what, winning is the cure for everything, like we talked about baseball. But the fact with the Pirates, I think the biggest thing is people were, during the Bo years, those are far behind us. And now we have Coach Houston that, let's see, 19, 20, 21. Yes, it's 5th season now. I was getting ready to say 4th, but I knew that was wrong.
No, it's 5th.
5th season now. So, hey, go out there, and it doesn't matter who we're playing. Go out there and support the Pirates. I mean, think about it. There's 6 weekends, Saturdays, and 5 Saturday. Well, actually 4 Saturdays, 1 Friday, and 1 Thursday that we have. So, hey, what are you going to be?
What game is Friday?
That would be the last game of the year. We have right after Thanksgiving. It's Friday.
On Saturday as of right now.
Saturday?
Yeah. It's on Saturday, and there's a little footnote that says official date will be announced October something. So it could be Friday on. Or Saturday.
Right now it's an either or.
Yeah, but okay. So
it
says Saturday, but then they have a footnote saying
it could be the Friday. Or they're going to. All right, I see that now. I didn't see that earlier.
Yeah.
So what? Anybody have final thoughts before we get out of here? I know that. Good luck to the Pirates this week. Obviously, that Wednesday game is huge, but also there's 4 away games, actually 5 straight away games. So we need to do very well during this stretch. A very important. I say it all the time, but now this is a even bigger stretch for us now that they're road games.
Yeah, you really need to. You gotta win at least 2 at Wichita. You need to get at least one of the non-conference games. So we'd go at least 3-2 during the stretch, and at least 2-1 in Wichita. Better off to sweep them, obviously. And there's the home football schedule for this coming season. And if you look at that, Marshall, that's exciting to me. I love playing the Thunder and Herd. Tulane is exciting because of what they did last year. And SMU being a Thursday night game, and that SMU team will probably be pretty good this year. Those are the appealing ones to me.
What about Charlotte? Come on, Matt's favorite team.
I'm more excited for Gardner-Webb.
Oh, wow. hey, they're a conference mate now, and we'll have them. And then the fact that, like you said, the Tulsa's got a brand new coach, so we're going to see how they play. That'll be Thanksgiving weekend, like we said, the Friday or Saturday. So, hey, people complain all the time, but you should be a real Pirate fan, and regardless if the only time some people get excited if, oh my God, it's no ACC school up there. Well, so what?
Yeah, no, you should buy season tickets if you're a Pirate, but I have no problem with people complaining about that schedule because it sucks.
Now I'm sure I can't believe I figured Kyle was looking forward to that Charlotte game for nothing else. So Biff Poggi, the very unique sight of him wearing a sleeveless shirt on the sideline.
I hear blah blah blah. I hear Biff really hates manure.
I guess so.
Okay, if y'all don't get that, I'm sorry. I'm not going to explain it to you.
All right.
You don't get that, Dave?
Is that from Back to the Future?
Yes. My God.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And one other bit of information, obviously a tremendous 22-23 season for East Carolina women's basketball, tying a school record with 23 wins.
Somebody say we should be 6-0 at home?
Yeah, Monica.
Based on what?
I think a lot of people think it's a weak schedule. So, like I was saying,
it's a shitty schedule, but it ain't that weak. SMU's good, Tulane's good, Marshall's good. I mean, and we got a whole new offense. I'm not sure why we should be 6-0 at home. I hope she's right, but I don't see that.
Well, hey, if we are, that means we have one hell of a season. So,
absolutely,
I'll salute you, Monica. Definitely at the end of the year. If we go undefeated at home, I mean, hell, that's even better.
I mean, Tulane just won the Cotton Bowl, and but Marshall just won 9 games, and so I don't. I keep seeing these people look at our schedule, and I'm not picking on Monica. No disrespect to Monica at all. She's a great Pirate, but I keep seeing these people calling for 8, 9 wins, and I just want to know what they're basing it on.
Well, I think there's a lot of one thing is the schedule as far as the teams we play. A lot of first-year coaches, right? Navy first-year coach, first-year coach at FAU, first-year coach at Tulsa.
That's 3 wins.
First-year coach at Charlotte.
Right? Yeah, right. Yeah, like I say, there's still some tough games on the schedule. UTSA, Tulane, Marshall, App State is still, and we got a bunch of unproven commodities on offense.
How do we? I will say, I want to say it was College Football News. So an unbiased entity that had us at 8-4, and I believe the losses were Michigan, App State, FAU, and UTSA.
See, the FAU game, I think we have a shot to win. The UTSA is my losses have.
Yeah, we have a shot to win FAU. We could lose it. There's a lot of the whole schedule to me is goofy because you look at Rice and you think Rice is garbage. They went to a bowl last year, and we struggled traditionally at Rice. God knows. People remember 2006 trying to win a conference championship and losing at Rice, or Ruffin McNeil's first year. Rice, everybody remembers that Navy game. What about the Rice game? They put like 60 on us.
Yeah.
So we play like trash at Rice. So I hate the schedule. It's harder than people give it. The biggest thing I don't like about the schedule is it's more difficult than people are giving it credit for, and so that's not a good situation.
Yeah, they beat us like 63-35 or 63-31 in front of probably 117 people.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how many times we've actually won at Rice. It hasn't been that many.
But final thing I had was a moment ago when I was talking about women's basketball. Kim McNeil and staff, they had some very talented players, on campus this weekend. Took them out to the jungle. Really, she drove home the point that Pirate Nation was great and was very hospitable to the recruits and as well as the staff. So just keep in mind, I'll say Twin Towers, and there's a orange and blue connection to the SEC. Chomp chomp.
No doubt about it. I tell you what. By the way, the final thing I was going to mention is that Kim McNeil got schooled on what a jungle jump is. And so they were the folks out in there in left field in the jungle were trying to get her to do a jungle jump, and they kept yelling, jump, jump, jump. And she was just jumping in the air. And she finally found out yesterday. She finally found out yesterday what a jungle jump is. So I thought that was one of my favorite parts. I love you, Coach, but that was one of my favorite parts of this weekend is I found out yesterday.
And that was a funny story, but and to her credit, she said, "If now that I know what it is," she said, I'll definitely jungle jump." So
that's hysterical. I'm just picturing her jumping up and down in the air.
Yeah, I know. Like, and the people in the crowd, like, well, what in the world is she doing?
I would, if I was her, I'd be wondering why the hell are they telling me to jump?
But one of my highlights of the weekend. So. Craig says now that Kyle clarified, it makes sense. It's talking about the schedule. It's crappy, but more challenge than people give it credit. But when Monica commented, that wasn't stated yet.
Sure, yeah. Like I said, I'm not picking on Monica at all. She's a great Pirate. I hope we go 6-0 at home. I hope she's right. I think the schedule's tougher than people give it credit for. Marshall, Tulane, SMU are all three very tough home games.
Well, hey, and we gotta come to play.
Yeah, no doubt.
How about she says every game is a challenge, and I don't take any opponent for granted, but we need to be better. Absolutely. And we'll see how it all comes down to obviously how these players, how they handle themselves in the offseason. You know, they're going to be training harder than sometimes you get comfortable where you've won 15 games in the last 2 years. You won a big bowl game in Birmingham. You know, we finally have a bowl win. First time in 10 years?
No, there's too much unproven commodities, particularly on offense on this team, to be getting cocky or think you've arrived. I mean, I don't see that. I think there's a lot. That is one thing I'll say. There's a lot of guys who should have something to prove this year. From Mason Garcia or whoever starts a quarterback down through the running back room at receiver. A lot of unproven commodity. There's talent there, but it's unproven.
Right. All right. Good luck to the Pirates this week. We want to thank our good friends at Next Level Training Center. Thanks to Trent and Gaynell Brett. Thank you so much for the sponsorship over the last few years. Just go to nextleveltc.com. You can give them a call, by the way, 252-756-NEXT. Go on their social media. They're awesome, giving you all the updates of what's going on there. pgxgloves.com. Thanks to Kaz. Appreciate him. In fact, I've got to order some more gloves. I got to do that here. I'll do that when I get off the air. Appreciate their Kaz's support of the program. Bubba, anything before we go?
Those two young ladies who we mentioned confirmed that they are on the ship. So we'll, as in the next day or two, when we have our next show, we'll have more information on those young ladies. And final thing I would have, Charlotte area Pirates, Western North Carolina Pirates. You showed up back on March the 7th in Kannapolis at Atrium Health Ballpark. Show up at Truist Field in downtown Charlotte, 6 o'clock Wednesday night against the Charlotte 49ers. And let's paint Truist Field purple and, create an awesome atmosphere and, show those neutral observers of the game, what East Carolina baseball's all about.
No doubt. Good luck to the Pirates this week. We'll have our extra innings next week about this time. Until then, thanks to Kyle, Bubba. Thanks to everybody. A great participation tonight. We appreciate that very much. Love you guys. Hope you have a great night. And as always, go Pirates.
Hey, Pirate Nation. This is former East Carolina pitcher Davey Penny of the Keith LeClaire era, class of 2003. Keep it tuned to the Sports Objective as you follow our Diamond Bucks on the road to Omaha, because y'all know we're going.
That concludes this week's edition of Extra Innings, presented by Next Level Training Center on the Sports Objective. Join us next Sunday night as we will once again talk East Carolina Pirate baseball. Be sure to follow the show on social media at The Sports OBJ on Twitter, at The Sports Objective on Instagram. Like and follow our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen to the show pretty much anywhere podcasts are found. As always, we appreciate you tuning into the show. Go Pirates!